Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to Farming Simulator 19, and welcome back to Meadowgrove Farm. So we are down at, let me bring you up to speed right quick, and then we gotta hustle up to another farm. So we are down at this little area right here, which is, I always think of it as being connected to the sheep farm, even though there are technically two different farms. And when we were looking for our crop storage, I had no idea where it was. I actually bought this little area right here so we could have access to this silo. That didn't do it. I thought it might be like the silo extension mod, which essentially connects all your silos. If you have something in one silo, it is then accessible from every other one, and that is not the case. So we didn't have to buy this farm. We just had to come down here to pick up the rest of our soybeans. This is actually the last of them. We had like 16,000 liters. And I came down and got a bunch of it earlier, and now we just got the rest of it. So all of our soybeans are going to be sold, and we've got our little New Holland combine harvester working away, and we need to hustle up there because it is almost full, and hopefully we'll get up there when the pipe is on the right side. We can get that emptied out, and we'll go from there. So, and it's also evening, and I have the time compression on 5x. I think this game looks really, really good at night. And so I thought, let's do a little evening farming. Not nighttime, it's not dark, but it's sunset, getting a little darker. So that is where we're at. That is what we're doing. I can also tell you that big patch for the game today. The game patched up to 1. Is it this one? Yeah. The game patched up to 1.4, and there's probably 75 things that I saw in the changelog. A lot of improvements and a lot of fixes. And you will see a little stutter periodically because we've got our New Holland on a hired worker, and also because we're loading some textures. Now, I do have the forgotten plants and forgotten textures. I've got just about all of those running. I've got the new bale textures. I've got dirt textures, concrete, everything. And I was really surprised that when the patch came in, it was like 400 meg, I think. And it didn't overwrite any of those, which in hindsight, that makes sense because it wasn't addressing things like textures. It does seem that the game is optimized. I'd say we picked up about 10 FPS. So that works. I'll always take FPS. I love it. And our pipe is on the right side. I see if we can get in there quick enough. So the game fixed and optimized some things, but it did not. Let's do it this way. Let's do it this way, because I don't think I can make that turn. So if we go here, right? Just don't hit the fence. Yeah, if we go here, right? And then we go straight in here. Beautiful. Oh, timing. How about that timing? Right, pivot around under here and get this going. So, a lot of good things. Looks like the game fixed a bunch of things. And it looks like we didn't lose any of the things that we had improved ourselves, like the forgotten plants, packs, etc. So, kind of a win-win. And as much as I kind of hate on Giants, and as disappointed as I was when the game was released in the fall, and, I understand that a sim like this, a game like this, is hundreds of thousands of lines of code. And it is inevitable that there are going to be problems, if for no other reason than when a developer makes a game, they sort of have to make it for everyone, even though everyone has a different system. So, different graphics cards, different wheels and pedals, different everything. Developers have to compensate for all of that, and it's tough, man. It really, really is. So I'll give them a little bit of leeway when it comes to, what a game is on day one. I think, for my money, the perfect solution is early access. Make a game available in a beta state for a reduced price, and it's like a win-win for everybody. If you really want the game early, you have it early. The developer gets a lot of good feedback and information as far as how the game works, right? So they've got customers testing it. Customers have the game. The developer's getting information, right? And nobody's disappointed because they know ahead of time this is not a full retail game. This is a beta. This is an early access. I think that's a really good solution, and I think if Giants had done that, I think there would have been a lot less disappointment and a lot less hurt feelings. It's interesting to me that a game like this was released in the fall of 2018, and it may be done to my standards in the fall of 2019, but you know what? That's the way it goes. That's life, that's business. I think they wanted it out in time for the holiday season, and that's cool. That's cool. And I think Giants also is on a 2-year schedule, and their Sims, their new one, whatever, drops in the fall of the year that is to follow. So FS19 is released in the fall of 2018, right? FS2021 will be released in the fall of 2020, I assume, and so on. And that's the way it goes. So I'm really pleased with the patches. The game is coming together. Is it done yet? Not exactly, but it's getting closer and closer. So good on them. I can also tell you we sold half of our silage, or we've taken half of our silage down to the BGA. Now, we were running the extended BGA extension. I wasn't quite sure what that mod did. I found out. What it does is it allows the BGA to process silage from 7 to 8 a.m. and from 7 to 8 p.m. Now, we don't have the base game BGA. We have one that Nathan6930 built, and I don't know if it's configured to his specs or to base game specs, but essentially we were processing like a few thousand liters of silage in the morning and a few thousand in the evening, and we were making about €1,000 a day. So, by my estimation, at that rate, to get rid of all the silage that we had in our clamp, almost 700,000 liters, at that rate, it would have taken about 100 game days to sell it all. Yeah, no, that's not working for me. Now, it says for the extended BGA that its goal is to enhance realism, and that is certainly realistic if you're looking to play to like a very strict financial standard, money standard. For sure, that is realistic, but that is just too slow for me. Sorry, man. I'm really sorry. I had to do something about that. So, let me see how we're doing here. 17%. I imagine we'll get this field done today. Yeah, of course we will. Of course we will. So we will then take these soybeans down and sell them, and I guess we can take this thing up to, or down to rather, our final field. I may not start it today, but we'll at least take it down there. So what I'm going to do is keep working on soybeans. We'll take these up and sell them when this field is done. We'll take this thing down and start it, and then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to speed time up to midnight and see what we got for 300,000+ liters of silage that we sold down at the BGA. I can also tell you, well, here, while we're waiting for that thing to fill up, I can also run over here and show you two other things that we got. Now, we did get, I got this a couple episodes ago off camera, and I got it because I like the idea of using slurry and digestate. We absolutely do not need this thing now, and I don't want to sell it because it's going to leave a big ugly scar, but we'll just say that this is dormant and no longer being used, because 300,000 liters of silage, I believe, will give us about 150,000 liters of digestate. And with our small fields, that is going to be plenty for us. That is going to treat us just right. And we've got another 350,000 liters of silage to sell, which will give us another 150,000 liters of digestate. So you see what I'm saying? I don't think we'll ever need to buy slurry or digestate. So what I got was, I got the Abbey sprayer, of course. UK map, got to have the Abbey, and that is by 4D Modding. It's beautiful. And then this is sort of the twin to our loading wagon. This is by the same crew, and what they've done is taken the base game hard manure spreader, the smallest one, and just made it skinnable and given it some additional options. And I believe they did some things with the dynamic hose. I think, maybe. But we are now set up for slurry and digestate and hard manure. That is super cool. And I also, and I'm going to need to fix this. I'll fix it off camera, naturally. But we also got, I can run right over here. We also got a storage tank for digestate. And the reason I got it is our BGA is just a little too far away to be running down there to fill that small sprayer over and over. So, one more. So I got this little tank up here. I say little, it's pretty small, but its volume is 500,000 liters, I think. And what I may do, because I'm not real pleased with these textures, and I don't like that the interactive zone markers are fixed permanent. I want to get rid of these, so I think I'm going to go into Giants Editor and mess with this a little bit and try to make this a prettier tank and get rid of these interactive zone markers. But this is parked out here, and I will probably rent the big tanker and the lorry and fill this thing 30,000 liters at a time. Essentially bring up all the digestate from the BGA, bring it all up here to the farm, and that way we can access it a little quicker. I may leave a little bit, whoa, it's getting dark fast. I may leave a little bit in the BGA for the grass field that is right next to the BGA and for field 24, which is down at the bottom of the hill. So that is the plan in broad strokes, but I'm really curious what we get from what we took down in the BGA today. I'm hoping it is several €100,000. Several hundred, yeah, at least 100,000. I mean, more would be better, obviously, but that is the goal. And then there's one more thing I want to show you. We bought this one right here. We bought field 2 to get access to the storage, which we didn't need to do. So when I tried to sell this, what it tells me is I can't sell it because it has placeables. I didn't place anything on it, so those were things that the map maker placed there. And I'm not, when I say that, I'm not like mad or anything like, oh, they screwed up. I don't mean it that way. I just mean we can't really sell that area without selling some other things, and I worry that that will leave gaps and scars when we look around. So I'm just going to keep that land, and that also gives us field 2, which I would say is the biggest field that we own. I mean, it's the biggest field we own right now is either field 14 or field 20, and I think this one is just marginally bigger than both of these. So this is now the biggest field that we own, and I guess we'll put soybeans or canola or something in there and call it good. Oh, okay. And he's fixing to run out of crop here, so we will pick up all these little scruffy bits because he is going to call it good. Well, I'm going to call it good for him. Right, so turn this on. Let's get these on too. And we'll get these little bits here. We'll get that last little corner. Wow, it's getting dark fast. I'm going to slow down time again. I don't want it to get pitch black. I like the game at night. I don't like it in total darkness. Not for you anyway. I don't mind it, but you can't see anything, and that's no good. That's no good. So, right around here. So yeah, it was unexpected to see that patch. As I said, I'm pleased, and the game continues to improve. And I think we knew it would. You know, I didn't question whether or not Giants would make the game right in time. I questioned the wisdom and the respect, I guess, almost, of releasing a game that we all knew on day one was not done. And the same thing just happened with Assetto Corsa Competizione. And the same thing happens with other games that I don't even play, to the point where this is, you know, you hear more and more people saying, I will never buy a game on day one. I just won't. They're not done anymore. And as we've talked about on the channel, you know, what makes that possible is that we all have digital content delivery now as our preferred delivery system. People don't buy games on DVD-ROM anymore. So there really is no incentive for a developer to finish a game on day one, knowing that if it's not done on day one, we'll just fix it later. And that wasn't something that was possible in the past. So I think digital content delivery has made it possible for developers to release games that aren't done and then fix it. And that's, I don't know, I guess that's just the way it's done now. You know, you can't really say that it's good or bad, because it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Right, so we'll get this dropped off. We'll take this right over the way there. The best sell point at the moment is the hilltop. And I'm going to try to, in fact, let me time this just right. Turn this off. Try to time this just right. See if I can get a good screenshot here with all the lights on. So hop out here and come right over here. That might work. That looks pretty flat, pretty dead. What if I do this? That helps a little. That helps a little. Okay, so it goes. This we can turn off now. So let's back this up. Pipe in. Like so. Put her in gear. Set the brake. Turn this back on so I can see what I'm doing. We'll drop the header. Take a little load off the hydraulics. Lights off. Engine off. Beautiful. Come over here and hop in my favorite tractor. There we go. Cover on. Brake is off. And here we go. Let's take these up and sell them and we'll call it. And this, I just sold, it's been 1 day, 2 days in-game since our last episode. I want to say, can I make this turn? I want to say it's been 2 days. So I don't know. I assume the price is still good. I guess we could check. Yeah, let's do that before we go any further. See if Hilltop is still the best. Is it Hilltop? Top Hill? Find out momentarily. Top Hill. And it is no longer the best. Meadowgrove is the best one now. Where is that? Where is that? Meadowgrove sell point is gray. Where is gray? Where is gray? Right here. Oh, that's not that far. It's the best way to get there. We'll go around this way. Okay. So then we turn on all of our crazy lights. Let's see if we can flip this thing around. I'm just about to get rid of the vehicle control mod. As much as I like it, it does, oh, not too far into the hedge. It does cause some problems. One thing that really all automatic transmission mods or gearbox mods for Farm Sim have struggled with is what gear to start in. It's really tricky, and I think the reason it's so difficult is because you're always going to want a different first gear or a different starting gear when you're in a piece of heavy equipment, depending on how you're loaded, depending on this, depending on that. It's always going to be a different gear, and I think it's just too big an ask for the sim to figure out. I'm trying to even remember where I am. Oh, okay, right there. I think it's just too big an ask for the sim to try to figure out what gear it is that would be best. And so I find it very often ends up in too high or too low a gear. And there are times when it won't really do anything at all. Now keep in mind, again, this is a mod that was the mod maker, I'm reluctant to say abandoned it, even though that might be the right word. It sounds too strong. I don't mean it, like they did a bad thing. It's nothing like that. They just, for one reason or another, decided to stop supporting it. So it is a permanent work in progress, and it will never be done, at least not by that mod maker. So it's those problems are never going to go away. They're not going to be fixed, in the next release. So I may get rid of it, and I don't know. Maybe somebody else makes another one. Maybe somebody makes a better one. We'll see. But for the moment, as cool as it is, and as much fun as it is, it still can be a little tedious. All right, there's our animation on our ratchet straps, and we're selling. There we go. Beautiful. 14 grand. I'll take it. I'll take it. Let's get flipped around here. We'll call it an episode. So next time around, oh, you know what? We're not done. We're not. I said I wanted to speed up time till midnight, so let's do that right now and see what we get from the BGA. And in the meantime, I'll put the cover on here. I guess we can start driving back to the farm. No, it's going to get too dark. Going to get too dark. Lights off. Engine off. Let me hop out. Yeah, we'll just hang out here for a minute. The clock will tick up there relatively quickly. And I'll have a sip of coffee while we're waiting. You know, we're running these small trailers. They're not the smallest trailers available, but they're pretty small. And we're also running the smallest loading wagon that you can get in-game at the moment, or that I can find in-game. And, you know, I always tend to go with equipment that's a little too big. And I was speculating, I was thinking, like, maybe I'll, you know, bump up the size just a little bit. But as we were trying to load this thing and take it back and forth through the yard over and over to get it down to the sell point at the BGA, I realized that this is just about right. It really is. It seems a little small until you get it into that yard, and then it doesn't seem small at all. It seems either just right or from a certain angle, maybe even a little too big. So I think I would go crazy if we had, because this one and our Broen silage trailer are exactly the same length. I think if I had anything any longer than this, it would really start to get tedious and a little bit, you know, a little bit frustrating in that yard. So this is just right. And as well, the rebranded Stroughton and loading wagon, same thing. Even with the steering axle, they can be a handful. So works for me. Works for me. And I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, we got our slurry sprayer. We got our hard manure spreader, which we don't need because we don't have any animals, but I figured why not. And yeah, that's about it. That's about it. We've got a planter. We've got a drill. Anything beyond this is just going to be what we need to take care of animals. And I don't know if or when we're going to have animals on this map because I'm still kind of burned out on animals after Holzer. Right, here we go. Here's the big reveal. 215,000 euro. Holy smokes. Okay, that works. And we're going to do the same thing again tomorrow. So we're rich. Do we even have a loan? I don't think we do. No loan. We're loaded. We are loaded. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 19. This is Meadowgrove Farm and the Farming Simulator 19 1.4 patch. And we'll see you next time. Take care now.